about to hear from my friends at Luminys, Dave Pringle and Richard Amadril. Dave's responsible for sun, making the sun, next to God, and lightning strikes.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about some of your new products?
A little bit of short history. About 25 years ago, we came up with a 70,000 watt lightning strikes for film, and made it pretty good. People wanted to wash out the picture, and they're almost good. So a couple years later, I thought, well, 70K, that's pretty good, but hey, I think I can make a 250K. Nobody's going to use it. That's way too much, but what the hell? We'll go ahead and make it. So I made one, and I took it over to Jan de Bont, who was doing Twister at the time, and he had 4 or 5 70Ks on it, and I showed it to him. He looked at me, he says, you should have given me this 2 months ago. These little 70Ks are too little. Come on, come on. So we went from there to, and for quite a while the 70K was a workhorse. But more recently, with more sensitive digital cameras, sorry, not digital film, this 8,000 watt paparazzi became the workhorse. Originally, we did this as just to simulate a camera flash. But in today's world, this is still the 70K and the 250K are used. Big shows, big exteriors, a big splash. Even not so big, the 40K, 70K are still pretty strong. But these go out 3 and 4 at a time, 6, 10 at a time, and work quite a bit.
Daylight fill, is that one of the things they're used for?
For simulated camera flash or lightning flash, if it's not too broad an area. Gunshots, explosion, welding. It's 110 volts, but it's 30 amps. So you can't plug it into the wall. But now,
and you can't leave it on continuously. Is that right?
No. This is the maximum on time for all the lightning strikes is 1.5 seconds full power, and normally at the end of 1.5 seconds you're shut down for 5 seconds for cool down, and then you're back up. But because you're flashing, you can do a pretty long intermittent flash. You can carry it out for 10, 20 seconds even. If you have a little off time in between. But now speaking of on all the time, we thought, well, okay, we did these for the flashing, let's do some continuous lights. So we did a 50,000 watt continuous light. And then Terminal came along and said, hey, we need more than that. We need 100,000 watt lights, which they used, and that was, 12 years ago on film. So recently you think, well, you don't need light for exposure anymore. The cameras, you just need it the right amount of light in the right place. Well, recently on Beauty and the Beast in London, the right amount of light in the right place was 10 100,000 watt soft suns continuous on one stage. So there we are, from 100 watt LED to 100,000, 1,000,000 watts on a stage. Who knows?
Well, last year I was at your place and you were making a small LED flash. That's what this is, or?
That's what this is. That's start off here. This one was originally for. Sorry about that. Yeah, this was originally done as a high G light for car crash testing. Stays on 10 seconds, 1,200 watts.
1,200 watts in there.
1,200 watts of LED, and go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead, flash it, Rich. See? That's not so bad, is it, James?
No. You scared me, though.
So this is very small, lightweight, 1 pound. You can even take the bail off, and you've got a very small unit here. Stick it, hide it anywhere. You can do the old Iron Man.
So it's obviously not getting hot, even at all that power.
No, it stays pretty cool. Heats up a little bit, but not a lot. Now in here, we've got the same LED. And these, they run at about 1,500 to 2,000 watts at full boost. These can plug into the wall.
Do you need to have them on a separate circuit?
Well, because they're momentary and intermittent, they draw close to 15 amps. But for that momentary pulse, we've got these two here running on the same 20 amp circuit with no problem because it's just a momentary flash. Anyway, big step forward for convenience. Plug it into the wall. It works on a standard lightning strikes controller. Whoops, sorry about that. Right into the lens.
And these are available for rental?
Yeah. Primarily rental. Most people are not too interested in buying a light that just flashes.
Once a year they might have that.
Once a couple times a year or whatever. And the rental works out pretty well. We've got a pretty good network of consignment rental agents worldwide that have these. These are brand new. This is our quad controller. You can run up to 4 lights on it at one time for flashing. Rich?
The only other thing would be that if you're doing any kind of high speed and you want flashing, go with the LED, because then you have the DC as opposed to the AC that drives the 8K unit. You can be sure that your flash is going to time when you want it. That was actually the first job that made us do it, was a high-speed commercial where they wanted to motivate a flash every time Chris Paul bounced the basketball and it hit the floor. And that sort of drove us to make these, and then suddenly realize you can plug it into the wall. The other nice bit, and you'll see on the photometrics that we have back at the booth, is at center beam you get similar amounts of light, 8K to 1,500 watts LED.
Yeah. And that was Bill Pope doing the basketball thing, and he pushed us and made us get these done and get them out working, and he did all kinds of crazy shutter angles, crazy high speed things. And Bill, in fact, on Matrix, a number of years ago, he was the impetus for us making this to begin with. He wanted a small, inconspicuous, lightweight flash, so we came up with this 8K. We thought, 8K, only 8,000 watts. You know, you got to have at least 40,000 to be a lightning strikes. So that worked, and then Bill came along again. He said, yeah, it's got to be smaller, lighter, inconspicuous, and then we gave him these. Okay.
Thank you, David. Richard?